It's bigger than me. Townsend wins again after row. Taylor Townsend put aside the controversy over comments made about her by Yelena Ostapenko to stun 5th seed Mira Andreeva and reach the U.S. Open last 16. The 29-year-old American said her 7-5, 6-2 win over the Russian was bigger than me as she reached the 4th round at Flushing Meadows for the first time since 2019. Fellow players including Naomi Osaka came to Townsend's defense this week after Ostapenko told her she had no education and no class after their second-round match on Wednesday. Osaka said those comments were one of the worst things you could say to a black tennis player. Ostapenko argued with Townsend after losing 7-5, 6-1 and claimed the American doubles specialist had not apologized after a net cord landed in her favor. The 2017 French Open champion denied any element of racism to her remarks, and Townsend said she did not think there was a racial undertone to the Latvian's comments. After claiming one of the biggest wins of her singles career against Andreeva on Friday, Townsend told the crowd at Arthur Ashe Stadium, "This feels good. All I'm going to say is welcome to the show. I feel amazing. I'm really just proud that I kept the main thing the main thing. I want to say thank you to everyone who supported me over these last 48 hours. It's bigger than me. It's about the message. It's about the representation. It's about being bold and being able to show up as yourself, and I did that tonight. You guys saw the real Taylor Townsend tonight." Townsend, who will play unseeded Barbora Krejcikova in the 4th round on Sunday, took just 76 minutes under the lights to surge past 18-year-old Andreeva with some fearless shot-making. She came through a tense first set before running away with the second, hitting a total of 23 winners. Townsend, a former junior number 1, is ranked number 1 in doubles, having won the women's title at both Wimbledon and the Australian Open with partner Katerina Siniakova. However, she is ranked 139 for singles, and this was only the 3rd win of her senior career against a top 10 opponent, following victories over Simona Halep in 2019, in her only other run to the 4th round in New York, and compatriot Jessica Pegula in Rome last year. Townsend reflected further on the win in a whirlwind 48 hours in her post-match news conference. "I said to my team I'm made for this type of stuff. I really feel like it wasn't hard because I stood in my truth. I didn't have to defend anything that I said. I would never allow any drama or anything on the outside to deter me from what my goal is when I step into the lines on the court. That's how I was raised." She added that she ended up turning off a mobile phone after being flooded with messages of goodwill through texts and on social media. "I said to my team, dang, I didn't know this many people had my phone number. I received so many text messages and stuff, just trying to filter through those things. When I got to the hotel, I said, okay, I'm done. I put my phone down and I put it on Do Not Disturb." The night air on Arthur Ashe Stadium shimmered under the stadium lights, carrying with it more than just the hum of electricity. It carried expectation, history, whispers of judgment, black and white threads woven into a single, taut cord of destiny. Taylor Townsend stood at the baseline, tight curls pulled away from her eyes, heart steadying. Her opponent, Mira Andreeva, world number 5, loomed across the net. The stakes were clear. This was more than a match. The words pressed behind her. Yelena Ostapenko's uneducated, classless, heavy with implication, color-coded in the undercurrent of a sport too often blind to heritage. They were meant to wound, but Townsend chose to let them spark something fiercer instead. She wouldn't miss. She wouldn't falter. "Tonight," she said, "it's bigger than me." This phrase was a beacon. It carried the weight of history, being sidelined in 2012 by the USTA when she was just 16, deemed unfit despite her junior world number 1 ranking. It bore the voices of Serena, Martina, Lindsay, who had spoken out on her behalf. It held every black girl who ever dared to dream big in a sport that often whispers, "Not yet, not enough." Townsend's victory was not just a win, it was a reclamation. The match began with subtle ripples, her serve biting the air, Andreeva's returns crisp, the lines crisp. The first set saw Townsend edge ahead 7-5, the crowd rising in roars as her serve forced forehand misfires. In the second set, she surged, breaking serve, volleying with intent, weaving pressure into Andreeva's rhythm until it snapped. As the ball clipped the line on her final winner, Townsend exhaled, not relief, not triumph, but acknowledgement. She had stood her ground. The microphone trembled slightly in her hand. The world leaned in. She offered something rarer than the standard post-match platitudes. It's bigger than me, she began. It's about the message. It's about representation. It's about being bold and showing up as yourself. These words were not just her own. They were an invitation for others to rise. She reflected on the drama of the previous match, when words had tried to define her. I said to my team, "I'm made for this type of stuff," she said with calm strength. No apology, no defense, just conviction. She had stepped onto the court not to erase the pain, but to transcend it, to let her racket do the talking, her presence do the healing. In her figure, I see a phoenix, a silhouette sculpted by fire infused with resilience. Each victory, each serve at the net, each step taken in unapologetic boldness. Flames curling around her silhouette in the stands and on social feeds, an Instagram following doubling in real time. But more than flame, I feel a bright reflection, a young black woman, standing firm in a world that is quick to judge but slow to accept. Here's the thing about being bigger than yourself. It's not a denial of fear or doubt. It's the act of leaning into them, letting them teach you courage. It's in the moment when the knuckles are white around your racket handle, when the echo of a disparaging comment follows you into the locker room, when you stop hearing it, not because it's gone, but because your own voice has grown louder. Townsend's court became more than a rectangular patch of concrete. It became a stage where multiple narratives collided. Rising star, mother, doubles champ, entrepreneur, a woman dismissed too young, now elevated. 3 Grand Slam doubles titles to her name, including Wimbledon 2024 and the Australian Open 2025. Wikipedia. The Washington Post. But tonight, the match was about singles, about belonging. Her words echo. You saw the real Taylor Townsend tonight. Real, not tempered into palatability. Flawed. Fierce. Whole. That authenticity rippled outward. Coco Gauff, Naomi Osaka, voices of support. A crowd converted. A sport stayed. Because when you show up as yourself, you invite others to do the same. Later, in quieter moments, I imagine she stood alone by the court's edge, the cheers still lingering, the weight of significance settling. She might think of the young players watching, of the mothers who raise daughters to believe they belong in the arena. She might feel the gravity of that belief, and the liberation of carrying it. To be bigger than yourself is not to lose your selfhood, it's to enlarge it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share.